What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's episode number 8, and I return today with the second episode of Season 2 on the back of our 1-1 draw against Arsenal to kick the season off today. We'll have more games in the Premier League, our first trip in the EFL Cup, or I should say our first game in the EFL Cup as a home to Accrington, and we'll have the rest of the summer window as well, where with 40 million in the budget, there's no doubt about it, we're still going to be looking to make at least 1 or maybe 2 or 3 more signings. And as we see one of our young talents, Marcus Bailey, go to the French side, Rodez would have liked to have kept him in the Football League, but just too lowly rated for a Football League side to put a bid in. Let's play the first game of today's episode. Leeds away down the road, newly promoted, going for our first win of the season and our first away day. Come on, you Cherries. You know, I really don't want to tempt fate, but I think there's a good idea, you know. Oh, great ball, Aaron's. This man, Dominic Solanke, is going to be staying. We were sure that he would be going, as billing is denied by Melier, but instead we've had 2 bids, but from 2 sides that aren't in Europe this season. I said if we get a bid from you know, your Chelsea, your Liverpool, your Spurs, I'll let him go. But until then, he's staying with us, and as things stand, that's looking quite likely as Cunha is denied another fine save where the Frenchman and billing can't score. Oh my God! That's the worst own goal I've ever seen. Listen, Melier, we know at times does drop a clanger, but I feel in a way I do feel kind of sorry for him because of where he is on the goal line, right next to the post. It is a little bit awkward, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my goodness. He just smacked it in off the post. What a finish! As Ritter looks to respond and Zabani makes the tackle. And we shall get it away. Oh my goodness. He just made 2 brilliant saves. This is Melier in a nutshell. Fantastic stops. And then, oh goodness, because the putt, he shouldn't have been passed back to you. That's the thing. You should really be blaming Cody Drown. What's he doing there? Why is he playing a back pass to his keeper? Backtracking onto the goal line. It's unfortunate, it's unlucky. He did well to stop it going in initially, and then that. Thing is, so we say it all the time, luck will balance itself out as Jack Harrison heads in the level. At a rare time, Philip Billing doesn't win an aerial duel, and it ends up resulting in a goal. Leeds back on level terms. Well, I think that's probably going to do it. So, back-to-back score draws start the season off. Not terrible results against a good Arsenal side, and away down the road as well. We're still searching for that first win of the season. Hopefully we'll get it sooner rather than later, because the longer you wait for one, the more you start to wonder when it's going to come. But we should get it in the next one. Following game, EFL Cup, Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Exactly. Sorry, Accrington Stanley fans. Got to use that. Yeah, Accrington Stanley at home should be a banker. For those that don't know where that reference comes from, by the way, it was it a commercial or a campaign many decades ago with the legendary Liverpool forward Ian Rush. And trying to get kids to drink more milk, basically. And they say, if you don't drink your milk, then when you grow up, you're going to have to play for Accrington Stanley. And one of the kids says, who are they? And the other one says, exactly. And that's where it comes from, basically. I'll leave a link to it. If you're that curious, I'll leave a link to it. But yeah, it's one of those synonymous things that I think will just sort of stand the test of time. You know, Accrington Stanley, who are they? Exactly. But who they are right now is a team looking to pull off a cup set. And they should have gone in front. What a sitter. And what a let-off. My goodness. Let's go. I see you, Traore. I see you. I see you, Tav. There we go. Now he's in behind. This should be a simple cut back for a finish. And there it is. Oh, Sinistera. He just slid it in, I think, to make it 1-0. It's a bit of a cheap goal. They are very easy to score those goals. They're going down to the byline and then pegging it into the middle. But when you're struggling, you got to pull out all the stops to get a goal. Yeah, it doesn't really put much power on it. Just sort of guides it in with the side of the left boot. Louise's first of the year. Bournemouth finally break the deadlock. Here we go. Trey wins it back. I see you, Alex. I see you. And if you can get around that last defender, there we go. It should be, oh yeah, great finish. The second goal, and that will do it. Bournemouth tune it up, and you know, I often say this, when you are struggling for form, okay, we've only had 2 games to start the season off, but even when you are struggling for form, sometimes you need a gimme, you know, sometimes you need an easy victory. Something simple, just to get you feeling good about yourself. Gotta say, if we didn't win this game, then I will be feeling good for a long time. 2-0 up, game over, progress to the next round. senSATIONAL to Dan Neal making his debut. Oh, lovely ball. Scott with the cool finish, and that will wrap it up. 3-0, brace for Alex Scott. And this season, I do want to get him in the first 11 more consistently, but after the signing of Matheus Cunha and Pedro Neto on that right-hand side now, it's going to be hard to do that. I don't really know. Like, if we were going to play him, how do we get him in the team, basically? Because I said before, like, him starting deeper feels like a bit of a waste. It's a tough one. Right, case in point for this game, really. I started him CAM and he bags a brace. It was really, really solid. That's the problem, really. He's one of those players where it's like, you can play him deeper, but if you do, you don't get the best out of him. And the reason why I'm bringing this up as well is because I know that in my FM save, I was guilty of doing that a lot. I played him deeper in a DLP role, and I had so many comments in the FM save saying, Doxy, you got an amazing attacking mid, why are you playing deeper? And in the end, we kind of, I wouldn't say we started his growth, but we definitely could have got more out of him had I played him further forward. Anyway, it's Luton Town in the third round. I mean, we could loan him out. Like, we could. We've got 10 hours on the clock. I don't know if it's too late to do so now, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, again, it's difficult because, again, I've got him on a defensive development plan right now to get those defensive stats up if we do decide to play him deeper. But as we know, he will be better in that CAM slot. But now that Cunha's coming in and Solanke's doing it, that's the figure. If Solanke was to go, we could move Cunha into the striker and have him CAM. I don't know. I don't really want to loan him out because he's that good. But again, he does need to play. He does need to get the game time. So 10 hours on deadline day. We've got 40 mil. I'm going to go make a sign him. Had him on my shortlist since the beginning of Season 1 because I predicted they would go down, and they did. He's been an amazing ball-winning midfielder, and he's improved greatly under Chris Wilder as well. If you've not seen him play, it's the Brazilian DM at Sheffield United, Vinicius Souza, and I do believe if the Blaze do go down, he'll go back to the Premier League, probably on loan, if not permanently. In this case, we're going to try and sign him permanently. I think he'd be an amazing, amazing new DM in this team, or possibly with the stats, to be fair. I've got a bit of a fetish for this. Maybe convert him to ball-playing defender. Certainly something we'll consider. Even so, he's been relegated. I want to bring him back to the top tier. What I might do is ask Chris Wilder if he's interested in Chris Metham. Because Metham's out of contract come the end of the season. He's not going to get a new one. And he's sort of championship level as well. So I wouldn't mind. I think that would actually work quite well, to be fair. We'll give them Chris Metham plus 10 mil and see what Chris Wilder says to that. They say, no, we don't want Metham. And we want a bit more money plus a sell-on clause, or remove the sell-on clause, then up it to 13.5 mil. He's a good player, now in his prime at 25, but let's go 14 mil, meet somewhere in the middle there. 2 mil over market valuation, and Chris Wilder says, yeah, he's a serious player, man. As a DM and a ball-winning midfielder, he's solid. I think he'd do great in this team alongside Philip Billing. Yep, it's a 5-year, 38 grand a week deal, and Vinicius Souza bounces right back from the Championship to the Premier League after the relegation with Sheffield United, and I do believe that will happen if the Blaze do go down in real life. So welcome to the Vitality Stadium, Vinicius Souza. CDM 25, but again, you look at his positions here. He's that sort of player, and I really like these players that can play all through the spine of the team. Technically, he's really, really comfortable on the ball. Great defensive as well, defensive stats as well. And again, at 6'2", with 83 jumping, 85 strength, 81 aggression, and 79 for heading as well. I mean, CB is probably, based on the stats, the best position, but he could play slightly further forward if we needed him to. We can keep him as a DM, or we can convert him to CB. Really, the choice is ours. Wherever he plays, though, he's definitely Premier League quality. If we do end up converting him to CB, then we certainly won't need Chris Metham, so just added him to the transfer list. I wouldn't mind keeping him till his contract runs down, but I'd rather sell. The only problem is he's only played for 2 clubs in his career, Brentford and now Bournemouth as well. So I really don't see him venturing outside of the Football League or the Premier League whilst he's still technically currently in his prime. That is bizarre. I don't know if you just caught that there as... No, I still don't see it happening either. Evan Ferguson, who's moved on to Leverkusen, has now gone and joined Mallorca on loan. I said before, like, when it comes down to realism in career mode, you can only keep it going for so long, and there's only so much you can do. We got a bid, funnily enough, for Lloyd Kelly from Sporting and Stuttgart. I want to take Metham as well. Now, I did say with Kelly, I wouldn't be against selling him if the right bid came in, but mainly I was thinking more like, you know, Spurs or Newcastle. So I'm going to say no to that, as the Metham deals have still been outside of England. Again, I think Kelly would consider moving. Again, I know Juve have been linked, but I think primarily it'll probably be better to try and get him to Liverpool or Spurs, really. Here we go. Another bit from... Okay, there we go. 2.6 mil for Chris Metham. That is more like going to the King Power, newly promoted. Yeah, I think that's a good fit, that one. And there we go, Chris Metham off to Leicester. Again, I think that's quite realistic there, so don't mind that one bit, as our budget now has risen to just shy of 28 million. So several players still on the transfer shortlist. We've been talking about Jacob Greaves since the save began, so I feel as though we should probably go in for him at some point. And to be fair, we just have sold Chris Metham, and if Lloyd Kelly does go at some point, which we do predict, then maybe Jacob Greaves could fill in as a new 3rd/4th choice centre-half. 23 years old, wouldn't cost much. Making a step up from the Premier League with Hull still in the 2nd tier. We'll see what we can negotiate here. What we could do is offer him James Hill, because I don't know what his ceiling is. But I do quite like him. Only 22 years old. Maybe one of the young lads who are going to go at the end of the season. Maybe one of these lads. You know, if Hull want to really think about long-term future. We'll offer them Owen Bevan plus £4.8 million. They actually said they want Kelly, which is funny enough, but it's not going to happen. I mean, I guess technically we could offer them James Hill, couldn't we? We could say you can take him. We do a little switcheroo here. Greaves is slightly better, though he is slightly older. I mean, could do that, but no. I'm going to offer them one of the other young lads we've got here, and see what they say to that market valuation deal. And they say no, but we'll take the money just with a 9% sell-on clause as well. No, I don't like sell-on clauses. So 4.8 mil, and in the end they say fair enough. 4.8 mil for Jay Greaves. Going to be a bit overloaded at CB now, but the good thing about Greaves is he can slide to left back or play in the DM area too. Yep, I personally believe he's one of the best centre-halves in the Championship, having watched him play. He's a really, really solid young talent. And whilst I know he'd love to get Hull promoted to the Premier League in real life, if it's not going to happen, then I don't think he'd be adverse to moving on. Welcome to the Vitality Stadium, Jacob Greaves. Again, 23 years old. Again, centre-half, yes. And I know we are a bit overloaded here, but again, what I like about Greaves is that he can slide to left back if need be, being that left footer, really comfortable on the ball, very good passer, and he can also play slightly further forward in the DM role too. So maybe not his best positions, but he can do an adequate job when filling in there as well. But I do see this guy as possibly being the long-term partner for Ilya Zabani if we end up replacing senSATIONAL at some point. LCB, good left foot, comfortable on the ball, really solid young English centre-half. Well, there's only 2 hours to go on deadline day, so what I think I'll do is I'll add James Hill to the loan list. I should have done this initially, that's my bad, but we'll add him to the loan list and try and get him loaned out in January. So we'll have 6 months of sort of sitting around waiting, but yeah, we are really overloaded at CB now. But again, I don't know how much longer we'll keep senSATIONAL for. I don't know why. I just see him moving on, and I'm worried about Zabani as well because he's got such great potential. I've got a feeling a big club's going to put a bid in at some point. So I'm kind of following the Brighton strategy right now, you know. I mentioned this back in episode number 2. Brighton have this strategy under Paul Barber where they look for the replacement before they've actually sold a player, for example. They look for the man that's going to fill in that gap once that gap ends up becoming real. So, yeah, the top deals on deadline day anyway. But Camavinga joining Newcastle United, my goodness, 65.7 mil. Balde's left Barca and joined Bayern, 65.5 mil. And David Hanko has joined Bilbao. Yeah, like I said, we can only do so much of the realism here, can't we? But even so, deadline day ends, 2 new signings. I'm happy with that. Like, what I didn't want to do was just spend money for the sake of spending money. We don't need to. Like, we don't have to. Our side is pretty solid. I'd say we're on the cusp of becoming a 4.5-star team, and now we've got a bit more depth and a bit more quality as well. Just because you've got the money doesn't mean you have to spend it. Believe me, wise lesson, not just for FIFA career mode, but also for life as well. So one thing I haven't done yet is send my scouts out we'll do that now. Obviously, we always keep the best one in England, and we'll do another 9 months looking for homegrown talents around the Dorset area. And as for our second scout, we'll keep it quite close to home and go to Scotland. Obviously, I know it's the south of England to the north of the UK, but to be fair, Bournemouth have had some Scottish internationals recently. Ryan Christie is still there, Matt Ritchie as well, though of course he was born in England, but even so, we'll do England, Scotland, and I did say as well, because of the American consortium now owning Bournemouth, we will go there as well. They've got an American international in Tyler Adams. I know they'd like some American players for the marketing as well, so this one makes sense. Let's go to America for our final scouting of the 3 9-month missions we'll do this season. Oh, and look at this. Directly after the window closes, we do see Porto put in a loan offer for James Hill. Same with Fenerbahce. I actually like both of those deals there. I know he spent a brief period of time out at Edinburgh with Hearts, but I'd like that. Going to Turkey, going to Istanbul, trying to beef up there, and same with Porto in Portugal as well. Both of those deals work well to me. I don't mind that. And as for the academy as well. Right now looking like this. Goodness gracious me. Now we knew that this kid was exciting. Lee Win. That potential now seems completely set at 92 to 94. Oh my goodness. The French duo still look pretty solid as well. Tom Payne, that young Welsh centre-half. So I'm releasing this guy. I must have put him in by accident. I don't remember putting him in. But yeah, this kid looks unbelievable, man. Please, Lee, don't ask for a pro deal until the start of next season. I'll give you one then, and then we'll loan you straight out. He looks unbelievable. Yeah, let's play a few more games today and look for our first Premier League win. Next up, Crystal Palace at the Vitality, where Vinicius will make his debut in that RCB slot alongside senSATIONAL. Let's see how he gets on. Come with you, Cherries. Free kick for Bournemouth, and whilst I don't really have much faith here, I'm going to give it to Cunha. He's got the power and he's a right-footed player as well. See if I can possibly catch Dean Henderson out here. I doubt it, but you never know. Matheus Cunha looking for his first goal for the new club. Oh my God! Has just scored an absolute beauty! Matheus Cunha! Just before the hour mark. We'll often say, if you're going to score your first goal for your new club, make it a memorable one. There's not much more memorable than that. Matheus Cunha, 64 free kick accuracy. I don't think so. To be fair though, for Henderson, I do wonder if he should have got something on it. It moved around like a Jabalani. I felt like I was back in South Africa, but it wasn't right in the corner. I just think he was deceived by the range and the power. Just like Ronaldo versus Arsenal back in the Champions League semi-finals all those years ago. But what a way to get the first goal for the club, and it's our first free kick goal to save as well. Well, Palace last year had an amazing season, finishing in a European place in the save. And I said this with Palace, like they've got such a great chance to become like a really good developing team over the years. They've got some awesome young talent. Eberechi Eze, obviously, Michael Elise, big fan of Doucouré as well. They've got a really good chance to do something special, and being a London side as well, I often talk about that. It's very attractive to players who want to go and play in the nation's capital. They've got the money to live there, and it really does help with a sort of a selling point, if you will. But this will be a massive win in our first of the season if we can hold on to it, and a clean sheet as well. And what a start for Vinicius. He looks solid as well in that RCB slot. Great one over the top by Cunha, and Solanke wraps it up. Cunha to Dom, 10 to 9, and Bournemouth get the 2-goal cushion with 13 minutes to go. Oh, the chance for Palace as senSATIONAL makes the tackle. And let's make sure we see this clean sheet out for Vinny in the back line, who's been solid on his debut as the RCB. In goes the corner, and there he is to win it back. He's been absolutely brilliant all game long, man. And maybe that position change is going to happen sooner rather than later. Bournemouth with the 2-goal victory. A scorcher from Solanke and a great assist for a from Cunha, sorry, and a great assist for a Solanke volley. And the Cherries get their first Premier League victory of the season as well. That was a brilliant display from Vinny in the back on his debut, and Cunha was amazing with the goal and assist as well. New signings turning up. Yeah, I don't normally show the stats, but well, that's pretty impressive. He only misplaced one pass, and other than that, won the ball back 6 times, made a successful tackle, blocked a shot, even though it doesn't show blocks, annoyingly. Actually, it might show on the defensive stats there. There we are, 1 block as well. Man, he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And as for that Cunha free kick, oh my goodness, that was special, man. What a hit, son, what a hit. And what a win. Let's see what we followed on then. Following game, going to Anfield, looking for our first away day victory of the season, and aiming to pull off a scalp here against Jurgen Klopp's Reds. Come on, you cherries. I have to say, initially, I thought Henderson should have got something on that, but looking on the replay, he was just beaten by the power. Just beaten by a ridiculous amount of shot power. And I don't know, I don't want to say this and sound silly, because I know for those of you that watch me for a while know it's one of the weakest sides of my game, but I do feel like I am getting slightly better at free kicks, you know. Slightly better. Still a long way off being, you know, even below average, but it's slightly better. But Liverpool in front. What I'm not getting better at right now is away day results. Looks as though we're set for yet another game without a win on the road. That's a nice slip ball through. Salah pegs it across. Oh, great save Nato, but doesn't get the luck with the rebound as the Hungarian fires in the second. Yeah, that's probably going to do it now. 2-0 for Liverpool, half an hour to go, but can't see us coming back from this. So, yeah, just 1 point taken from 6 possible on the road. No wins in our first 2. Tough start away from Dorset. Tough start to the season, all things considered, really. Oh, Billing's just gone down as well, so it's a tough afternoon at Anfield for Bournemouth. Where have I seen this before? That's a shame now, because Philip has been great since this save began. Yeah, it's always so frustrating. It's like, not only did you lose, but you also got an injury to one of your players as well. We've made it even worse for you. We're not ending on that. We're doing at least 1 or 2 more today. And unfortunately for Billing, it was the classic career mode injury. Run from it, dread it. The broken toe always arrives to one of your players at some point. 3 months Billing will miss. And as you see, James Hill is going to join Porto on a 2-year loan deal. Right, let's do 1 or 2 more games. Next up, Spurs at the Vitality, aim to bounce back here and make it back-to-back home wins as well. Come on, you cherries. Tyler to Pedro Neto. There's Solanke with Cunha in behind. Takes it on early. Oh. And unlike Henderson, Vicario gets something on the long-range shot from Matthews. Still tied at 0-0, but good start. Good start as we look for the opening goal. Oh, we would have had it as well had it not been for Vicario. Excellent stop once again. This time on Dom. Still 0-0, but that first goal's coming. Cunha to Neto. And it's a great ball in, and this has got to be 1-0. And it is! Matheus Cunha gets his second in 2 games, both at home, as he smashes it past Vicario. It was coming. It was coming. And I often say this, but when you are currently attacking with intensity, you just haven't had a breakthrough yet. Don't lose hope. Don't lose confidence, don't lose belief. Eventually, you will get the breakthrough. Exactly what's just happened. Matheus Cunha, 3rd time's the charm, fires Bournemouth in front. We did beat Spurs here last season, and based on the pattern of play, Scott rides a tackle and finds Clark. You'd fancy us to do it again. Dominic Solanke gets underneath the ball and puts it over, but a second goal is now coming. We've not just got 1 goal lead here against Spurs. We're going for a second, and right now looking full value for our lead as well. Got this team on the ropes, man. Don't want to let them out. Just want to keep on jabbing, and eventually we'll get that goal that should deliver the KO blow. So Barney's going to win that all day, which he does. Oh, what a ball. And there it is, Jack Clark with the finish, and of course he was going to score against his former team. We had them on the ropes, and I say this as well, but when you've got a team right where you want them, penned in a corner, don't let them out. Just keep on attacking, and eventually you'll get either a second or 3rd goal or whatever it may be to finish the contest off. Jack Clark against his former team says this is what you're missing. First of the season, Bournemouth 2 goals up, and this will be our first scalp of the year, and back-to-back home wins as well. Oh wow, straight red card. Kulusevski's just dived on Kirkes. And that Spurs down to 10 men as well. So to be fair, it was late and rash from behind. That's what happens, man, when a team is getting beaten. They can't get hold of the ball. Your lays are ringing around, especially when they're away. They might well lose their discipline. Let's see if we can push for a 3rd goal then, with that being the case. Spurs now down to 10. We might be able to get it. We should. We will. Dominic Solanke makes it 3, and that will put the icing on the cake. I plan to play one more, but based on this performance and based on this result, I think we should quit whilst we're ahead. This has been a phenomenal display in Dorset. I often talk about the importance of winning your home games, and it's safe to say Bournemouth understood the assignment. 2 wins in our first 3 in Dorset, an incredible draw against Arsenal. It might have been a mixed start, if you will, but certainly not bad from the Cherries and the new signings, in particular the Brazilian boys looking fantastic. Cunha with another goal, and Vinny with another clean sheet in the back line as well. He's looking solid already as potentially our new ball-playing defender. But that'll do it for today's episode of the Realistic Criminal, guys. So big fan of watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode with the next round of the EFL Cup and more big games in the Premier League as well, as we'll play through Sloggy season very soon.